Ever wonder what it takes to build deep connections and drive meaningful impact in a vibrant community? Today, we're excited to welcome Dr. Katie Burke, Assistant VP of Alumni and Community Engagement at Florida Atlantic. Katie is a true force in bringing people together here in South Florida.
So, Katie, welcome to the Digital Mayors Podcast.
You.
So
Thanks
glad
for
you're
having
here.
Me.
Right? We are so excited to have you join us. So I want to start, honestly, just with kind of like a fun question.
Let's do fun. I love fun.
When Katie Burke is not connecting the community and FAU and supporting the community, which, by the way, right, we talked about even before we started, it seems like you're doing that all the time.
All day, son.
We see you. I mean, people tell us all the time, I have no idea how you guys do anything because we see you everywhere. Mm-hmm. And I see you everywhere.
Everywhere.
And I see you everywhere that I'm not. I don't know how you do it. So when you're not supporting the community, what's your favorite way to spend a day off? Not laundry, not watching TV. Like, how do you enjoy South Florida? No, but really, like South Florida. How do you enjoy South Florida on a day off?
Well, I was going to originally go a different direction with that question, but first, thank you for the kind words. That was my heart.
All true.
We dig you.
Love you guys. And I dig you.
Thank you.
Both. I would say reading is honestly my favorite thing to do when I'm not out peopling and working and doing those things. I love to read and work out. A dream day off to me would be going to the beach with a good book and working out before that, and then eating really good food. That would be my dream day off.
That sounds like a pretty good day.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
And so reading, let me ask you this. What do you read? Is it fiction, it's like trash romance novels?
Lately, I'm getting trashy with my books, and it's so fun. My students recommended a series that I didn't realize my students would be recommending me, I guess what they're calling smut these days.
Really?
Yeah, so I just tried it and I loved it, and now I just finished book 5, and most of them stopped at like book 3.
Oh, wow.
So I have no one to talk to about it. So I'll send you the titles.
Can I tell you? Listen. So we went on a cruise with a big group of people last year, right? Or is it this year? March? Whenever it was.
We went on a couple.
We went on a cruise.
Spring break.
To the Caribbean.
Okay, nice.
And my sister-in-law told me, hey, a bunch of us are going to be reading this book because she knows I read too. She said, oh, you should read it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I started reading the book, and it was the first like romance novel smut I've ever read.
What'd you think?
I got to tell you, that was some of the best sex I ever saw or heard or read. Like, it was.
You saw it in your mind, which is
hot.
Kind of exciting.
The story was garbage. It really was terrible.
They don't have to be garbage stories. There are good ones
So
with
I'll take a recommendation.
plots and things
All right, I'll
and
take a
character
recommendation.
development. Yeah. I love to read, and I love to read about people and fiction, nonfiction, just stories of people and their development. That's one of my favorite things.
That's really cool.
I like that.
Awesome. I think that's great. So let's dive into your role at Florida Atlantic. By the way, I hate saying Florida Atlantic. I much prefer FAU.
Yeah.
And I'm trying really hard.
You can still say
We're
FAU.
adapting.
Yeah.
By the way, the cheerleaders at the games, they still have a bunch of FAU
We
cheers.
do.
I'm just saying.
It's much easier to get crowds to chant FAU versus Florida Atlantic. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
So I just wanted to say, so I can say FAU?
You can say FAU. Yeah, thank you.
So let's dive into your role at FAU.
Deal.
So as Assistant VP of Alumni and Community Engagement, you're creating connections and really fostering the FAU pride in South Florida. But not just South Florida, I mean like everywhere, but focused on South Florida.
Yep.
What does your day-to-day look like, and why is it so meaningful to you?
Well, it's meaningful to me. I'll start there. I'm 4-time alumna, so the Owls and our community.
Owl up.
It's an incredible place, and it really helped make me who I am. So I'm a first-generation college student. Neither of my parents went to college, graduated with a degree. My dad didn't graduate high school. So going to college in the first place to me was a really big deal.
Yeah.
And I stayed home to be close to my family because family's number one for me.
That's awesome.
So the community it fostered my growth. It's for gritty people who love to build things and be a part of a special community. That's what Florida Atlantic is.
Yeah.
So I was
We're not even alumni, and I
and
feel
you
like
are
part
a
of
part
it.
of our
Right.
family.
I'll wear my
Yeah.
FAU shirt.
I love it. You guys are a role model to the rest of what the community could be and do. I mean, we are Boca Raton, Florida Atlantic's main camp. We are here, and we bring a lot of people here all the time to help build our economy and our community.
Yeah,
in
I mean,
Boca
listen,
Raton.
we talked with Andrew Duffel.
Yes, one of my favorite guys.
And to see and learn some of the things that Florida Atlantic is doing with the business community and the economic development. I mean, it's amazing what you guys do.
It's the place to be.
It is, and he's got, I mean, the research park, you've learned so much about it now, but it's tremendous to see what he's doing to help build businesses and bring them right here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my FAU story, my Florida Atlantic story is long and deep. And so I grew up in student affairs and enrollment management after taking like a career shift. I thought I was going to go to law school and become an attorney, advocating for people in a courtroom. I was really interested in, litigation and what that would look and feel like to help people get, things fixed or dealt with. And then I'd learned that advocacy could be in a classroom and working with students. And the students at Florida Atlantic are the students that you want to fight for and you want to help, find success. So I just fell in love with that field of student affairs, and I did that for about 12 years, and then I moved into this role about 2.5 years ago.
So cool.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Couldn't be a more perfect role for you, right?
Thank you. Yeah.
Like they made the role for you. I can't imagine anyone else doing it.
Oh, that's really kind.
sure.
I appreciate it because it was a big risk for folks. I came into the role without a lot of fundraising experience. I certainly had some, but not what a typical candidate for this role would have. And they took a chance on me.
Seems to be working out so far.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right.
Awesome.
And how's it working out? Again, like it's the day-to-day, what does that look like for you? What do you spend your time doing?
Every day is different. Number one for me is the people in my team. So some of my team members, Sherry Bees, Ryan Moran. I started with the team of 2. We're up to almost 10 people who wake up every day thinking about how to get everyone excited about FAU and get them pulled into our OWL community. So every day is different. We, have a membership program that we're constantly trying to make better and get more people involved with, which are you guys members of the Alumni Association?
I think we talked about this before. You said we don't actually have to be
alumni?
You don't have to be alumni.
Because I want to be part. As a matter of fact, the other day I was speaking to Debbie Levine and we were talking about something with food.
Yeah.
And she mentioned I had that at one of, what do you call it? The
Florida Atlantic Foodies.
The Foodies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want to go.
You can go.
Florida Atlantic Foodie FOMO.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
We should put that on the flyer.
Yes.
Don't have Florida Atlantic Foodie FOMO.
Yeah.
No, Debbie is phenomenal. She's actually one of our Richard L. Schmidt Alumni Talent Award recipients. The same award that
She's
our president
awesome.
received just last week during our
cool.
homecoming celebration.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Alumni Association, we work every day on that initiative to make it stronger, better, bigger. We have alumni networks around the country. So we're right now at about 31 different networks, both location, affinity-based. So every day is spent trying to make the work we do even better and get more people involved.
So what do you do? Do you start with a team meeting? Like, okay, this is what we're working on. Bill, you do this. Jim, you do this. And then we'll meet up later. Like,
no Bill or Jim, but other folks definitely. We collaborate a ton. I believe deeply in collaboration and getting everyone involved, no matter their formal role or title. So we certainly have team meetings every week. Get people on the same page. We have different communication focuses. We have communication team meetings because that's one of the big things. Alumni need to know what's going on, right? So one of the first things we did in my role was build a newsletter. We have something called Borough Beat, which is really video focused, small 30 to 60 second videos that talks about what we're doing. So a lot of work prepping all that stuff and then delivering on it.
That's awesome.
So let me ask you this. Do you connect, you said they're alumni.
Yeah.
Alumna. Doctor, help me speak.
I am an alumna,
Right.
a group of alumni.
Alumni. So
And you would be an alumnus if you want to come take some classes with us.
So alumni all over the country, probably all over the world, right?
Yeah.
And you said there are like 30 groups?
31.
31.
I got
Yeah.
you.
So do you have activities in different areas and things like that? See,
Yeah.
that's cool because I am a graduate of Suffolk University in Massachusetts, in Boston.
Okay.
And I know there are a bunch of Suffolk University alumni
Good job.
down here
You're so
in,
good.
I try, down here in South Florida. And I'm sorry to tell you, Suffolk, it sucks what they do. I mean, once in a while they'll
go to
do
a Red Sox
They'll
game.
do a Red Sox game.
Once a year.
That's
Suffolk
cool.
alumni.
I like that.
and,
Okay.
like there's stuff, but
Yeah.
they don't communicate very well.
It's
and so
hard.
I don't
Well,
feel
what they need
connected.
is a Dr. Katie Burke.
Yes,
Well,
that's
it's
what
hard.
I'm saying.
And they may have an awesome, Suffolk version of Dr. KB.
Right.
But it's so hard to reach alum out of area. That is definitely one challenge we've learned.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how do you do that? Do you have a point person? Or?
We have databases full of, contacts for alumni across the world now. And if we don't have a good email address for them, it's...
Right, SOL.
Yeah, so social media, that's, why communications is such a big focus. But it is not where it needs to be by any means. So we work on that all the time.
Okay.
So cool.
So let me ask you this. What are you working on now that you're excited about?
So Florida Atlantic Alumni Portal is a website, an online community that is bringing together alum to do the thing you're sort of describing, right? Connect people where they are in the country. It actually is an interactive map. So once you log in, we get your updated contact information, and then we get to see where you are. You can join networks from this same space, and it's where all of our events are housed now. So it's like a one-stop shop for alumni engagement to really make it easy as possible for folks to connect. Wow. So you can also get membership through there. So I'll be sending you the link right after we're done.
Yes. All right.
And then you can auto renew, because that was another thing we learned right when I started, was without auto renew in a culture like ours, when it's not easy or the click of a button, it's likely not going to happen, right? Because we're all used to Amazon, and it's just going to come at the door, and we don't do anything except click one button. So we're trying to make membership and our experiences just as seamless.
Very cool.
I love that.
I love what you're doing. I'm such a fan.
Thank you.
Right? I feel like a fan. I'm interviewing this famous person over here. Right? This is
No,
great.
it's fun.
100%. And so it's clear that community is a big part of your role, whether it's local or out of the area. What would you say has been one of the most rewarding experiences you've had in your position and in what you do?
Yeah, no doubt. Was Leadership Boca. Class of 2024. Yes. So we, through the chamber, my good friend.
Yeah. Katie is my president. Katie's the president of my
What was her name again?
Kickin' KDB.
Are we saying that? It was Kick-Ass Katie.
It was Kick-Ass.
You can say ass on here. It's okay.
And by the way,
ass.
if you look over your right shoulder is our class photo.
Oh, yeah.
From Leadership Boca.
Look at that.
Right?
That was out in Belglade, right? Yeah.
So cool.
So
Yeah.
Leadership
I'm doing it
Boca.
next year, hopefully.
Okay, you applied, right? You met the deadline?
Yeah, I think I got the wink from Chastity.
You know
so
some
I think
people.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, just the relationships alone. So Coach John Jacobs, our men's basketball
I've heard of him.
head coach, incredible human, by the way. He talks about relationships over everything.
Family over everything. That's the whole motto for the team this year.
And it could not be more perfect for, I think, our community as a whole in Boca Raton.
Right.
Leadership Boca, the class program, just it personifies that in every sense of the word.
It's so cool, right?
So good.
Who would have ever thought that the Chamber of Commerce would change your life as a human,
I know.
just as a human, not even as business owners, not even as a local university employee, celebrity.
Thanks.
I mean, just to make a connection. Like, I dig Katie Burke.
Yeah.
Right.
Thanks.
And everybody else that's in the group, like, I feel really connected to these people from going through that experience. That was
I see it standing outside because, obviously we hang out a lot, my brother and I.
Yeah.
And I see, like, when he sees someone, like, they run up to him with a big hug. I'm like, who's that? I thought we know all the same people. Like, who is he? He's like, oh, we're in Leadership Boca together.
Yep. Yeah, it's what the program facilitates, right? Not only are you learning about the community, which is important to us too. I think that's what initially gathers us. But it's also like the people are cool.
I'm there for the party, girl.
Yeah.
Listen,
It's
that's what it can be.
perfect mix of fun, and meaningful interactions, kind of like this podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's about.
Good
That's
job.
what it's all about.
Yep.
Right. So one of the things that we talk about, really our goal, and in having you here, right, is to discover and highlight the things that make South Florida the best place to live, work, play, give, get educated, right? The whole thing. I mean, that's what it's about. And Leadership Boca embodies that. And Leadership Boca, I think, highlights that.
For sure.
It facilitates that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: through your position at the university, assistant VP. Hold on, you ready? Let me look again.
Assistant VP of Alumni and Community Engagement at
Nailed
Florida
it.
Atlantic.
That's right. Yeah.
I had to write it down because in person, face to face, I mangle it every time. I try.
You're doing so well.
I try.
Yeah.
We should just carry a piece of paper in our wallet or
Right.
something. This is Katie. She is the.
So what would you say, right? Because it's not all rainbows and unicorns, I don't imagine.
Yeah.
What would you say has been a lesson learned through your experience in your position?
That's really hard. So I would take a step away from the professional, but there will definitely be a tie-in.
Sure.
One of the most difficult things just really personally is I lost my dad June 24th, 2022, and I started the new position. Thank you. I started the new role July 6th.
Wow.
2022.
I can't imagine.
So it was an incredible change, right? I have a PhD in educational leadership and research methodology. I've studied student leaders, and students are my passion. I was leaving students to work with a whole nother, primary stakeholder group of alumni. Obviously, there's a clear connection there, but it's new and it's different. And was I going to be able to do it? And then I lost my best friend, So I think that was one of the most challenging things, is deciding how to handle that, right? And do you immerse yourself into the work and give your all to that moment, right? Where I could have decided to forego my start date and take the time to grieve or whatever folks might have needed, but I didn't. And I don't think that makes me different or special. I just think that's the route that I took.
That's what you did. That's all.
And now it's like finding the space to truly grieve and find the way to come to peace with it. So just navigating that has been a big challenge, and knowing loss. And no one talks about death, I don't think, or grieving in a way that's helpful or meaningful, or, that we feel the connection. I know a group of us have an unfortunate, we jokingly kind of maybe poor humor, but we say it's like a club for us, that it's like we lost our dad's club.
Well, we lost our mom. I mean, we have her right back here.
Yeah, I'm so
6 years
sorry.
ago, October 8th.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing.
And I can tell you, personally, I didn't handle it well. After she died, and we had the funeral and all that, and it was time to get back to work.
Yep.
I think for a week straight, I drove to the office, sat in my car, and cried. And I couldn't go inside because I didn't want people to talk to me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to get the "I'm so sorry." I struggled hard with it.
Yep.
So I get it, right? And I sat in my car and cried. You put yourself into work, right?
Yep.
Everybody does different.
They do, and that's okay.
And there's no
Difference
right, there's no
okay.
wrong.
Yeah.
And there is no right or wrong, and I think people will judge regardless of what you do in this situation and any other
because
situation.
you're not right and you're not wrong.
Exactly.
If you're different than what they did, there's judgment.
Yeah.
But what I'll tell you is this: so I made a note and showed to my brother.
Yeah.
She was trying to see. I saw her.
I know.
looking.
I saw her looking. I saw her looking.
It's like, is this a cue for me?
No. Listen. So we were fortunate to have been introduced to this woman, and I have a hard time explaining what she does. Her name is Beatrice. I'm going to mangle her
Don't
last
say
name.
her last name. You can't say it.
Simbernoff.
That's actually probably close.
That
Beatrice,
sounded
I'm so sorry.
good. I mean,
So she is a cool lady. What she does, she's not a therapist yet,
But
she's a therapist. She does like neurobiofeedback, something like this. So my brother, I think, in our family,
your face is
PhD Dr. Katie Burke is going, oh, what bullshit are you going to spout now?
I'm ready.
I know. So my brother was the first one in the family to go talk with
my
her.
wife made me.
Okay.
Yeah.
She was like, "You're going to see this doctor." I'm like, "I don't want." You're going.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
dear.
so as he was there, so what she does is she connects you to a computer, and there's biofeedback. You get a strap around your forehead,
Okay.
one around each wrist,
Yep.
one around each ankle. There are cables that connect to the computer. She asks you some questions, you have a little conversation, and then she takes a minute and reads her findings. And it's like crazy, psychic, like it's like, so what was the thing with my brother?
Yeah.
What was the thing that you were like, oh yeah, where?
Yeah. So it's crazy. So first off, she reads you and prints out this whole report. She tells you traumas from your entire life and when it happened.
Oh, geez.
Without you
Accurately.
telling her.
Yeah.
She tells you everything you're allergic to. Everything you are allergic to.
Even if you don't know.
Correct.
Oh, that might be useful.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I went in one time and she was like, "Oh, I see here you have tendonitis." I said, "Yeah." "Okay, where?" She's like, "Your left elbow." I'm like,
Holy shit. That's weird.
"How the hell did you
That's not on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's not on Instagram.
No, that's
I didn't tell
wild.
her."
Right. But the reason I brought her up is because she has helped us. And since we've had the pleasure of connecting with her, she's helped a bunch of people deal with trauma, deal with, all sorts of stuff.
She saved our lives. For real.
Like for real. Like one of the coolest people. I'll tell you this. The way I explain is I don't understand what she does.
Yeah.
However, every time I walk out of her office, I feel better.
How many times have you gone?
I've probably been 10 times.
Okay.
About the same.
And it's amazing that, Dan, I see something with water when you were 7 years old, and I'm like, holy shit! You remember there was at a party one time I remember, and this little boy held me underwater, and I had to pinch him to get out because I couldn't. I'm like, I don't tell people that. Nobody knows that, but it affected me.
Yep.
Like she helped me process that. She helped me process a whole bunch of stuff, and
Really
she's just a cool person, but she might be a cool person to talk to help work some stuff out, and she's local.
Okay.
Yeah, she's local.
Yeah, I would love to
I'll
learn
have
more.
to get on that. And whatever.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the suggestion.
Yeah.
I think
And we like connecting nice people with nice people.
That's right. Yeah, and it's important to just talk, I think, about these things.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. So enough trauma.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
Enough trauma.
Oh, wait a second. I don't know. All right, enough trauma.
Dr. Katie Burke,
Yes.
do you have any special talents or any hobbies, something?
Why are you looking at me?
I was thinking back to what I did on the bus for Leadership Boca.
Yeah, you did.
That's bus talk. You can't.
What
Yeah.
happens on the
Well,
bus
we were
stays
supposed
on
to
the
all
bus.
share what our special talent was.
Yeah. And as an example, if you
Yeah.
need, we had someone in here recently who was in Leadership Boca with you, and her special talent was weird.
Yeah,
She said
Leslie.
she can look at a foot and tell you what size shoe you wear.
Whoa.
Right,
And we made her do it.
right, because she used to have to get shoes for her brother growing up. Right, so she had
okay.
the talent.
So that was
so what?
Very
Interesting.
weird. So don't
Yeah.
worry about what you're saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any talents, hobbies?
Yeah. So a weird one first, I guess.
Sure.
Just continue to speak about my dad. So I grew up on Lake Okeechobee and fishing. I'm a really efficient fisher woman.
Cool.
Particularly bass. Big Bass Burke is a
right.
nickname that
All
runs
right.
in
You
my
got a
family.
lot of nicknames.
Big Bass
Yeah,
Burke.
Big Bass Burke. My dad was the OG Big Bass Burke, and then my brother Steve, my other brother Jimmy, kind of took on that name. I can also do a really good alligator call.
Really?
Yeah, I freaked my brother-in-law out, who's from New Jersey, and I did it the other day when we were golfing, because we were out in Osprey, and
Oh.
yeah,
And
that's
did anybody come
really
on?
good.
Ben, take that clip.
yeah, that was
Please. We're going to be putting that on the big screen at FAU's next football game.
no, thank you. That was us thing. Yeah, I'm also a really, I think, strong
hold on.
teacher. Okay, we're gonna lean into that. Yeah.
How did you figure that
Well,
out?
she was on Lake Okeechobee fishing a lot. There are gators there.
I hear them
Right.
often, and I was wondering as a child what that noise was, and enlightened to the fact that that's a gator. And I said I can do that noise, and then I did it, and I did
So
it
the
pretty well.
the gator whisperer.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it actually works. I'm not gonna
Call him
call
out.
one close to
Yeah, I
me
wouldn't-
per
I wouldn't
se,
suggest
but
it.
yeah. So, and I teach really well. I teach group fitness also.
Bar.
Oh, really? What do you do?
Yes.
You teach bar?
Yeah, I do. I teach Bar 3. Unfortunately, Bar 3 Boca Raton closed recently.
I'm sorry.
I know, it's really sad. But I also teach cycle. So I'm a
At FAU.
cycle instructor at Florida Atlantic.
We
yeah.
we might have been talking to someone earlier who said, I was looking at the list and I saw Katie Burke's name on there teaching classes. I'm like, oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's fun. I love movement and I love motivating people to feel challenge and,
Are
be
you
stronger.
mean or nice?
I can be both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of whatever.
I can see her
think
being a
my
nice hard ass.
clients
Yeah,
need.
right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And by the way, it makes so much sense because to have the energy and the stamina to do everything that Katie does, right? Like I said, we see her everywhere. To have
Yeah.
that energy and then go home to your husband and have energy for that, to have a relationship, like you have to exercise your butt off
Yeah.
to have that kind of energy, right?
No, I do. It fuels me. It's absolutely my self-care, however you feel about that. That is the thing that I do to make sure I am.
We had a coach.
well.
We had a coach tell us. I mean, not just us. He tells everybody. You have to exercise. You have to have energy because, what did he say? He said,
A tired man is a divorced man.
yeah, right. Because if you expend all of your energy
Yep.
at work and then go home and don't have energy
Wow.
for your family,
Yeah.
you
Yep.
will not have that family around.
It's true. No doubt about it. Absolutely.
That
yeah.
honestly, that hit me hard when he said that because I would work my butt off and go home and I was tired. And I'm
Yep.
like, I don't want to do anything. Let's just sit on the couch and watch something. And I started working out a lot more. I'm, a lot more cardio, playing basketball, working out. And now I just go about 18 hours a day and get a couple hours of sleep and I'm good.
Yeah. Sleep is definitely important too. I've
Luckily,
learned that.
I don't need a lot.
I don't either. I don't think I need like 6 hours. As long as I
Yeah.
get 6 hours, I'm
I find that
pretty solid.
I just wake up at 6 hours.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just
Same.
works for me.
I used to be like 3 hours. That works.
College, maybe.
4 hours. A little after college too, but yeah. But it's been fun to take classes now that I'm not teaching as much. Only a couple classes a week instead of teaching 6 or 7. I'm taking a bunch. So like yoga joint, grow yoga, cycle bar, Boca Raton.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I've been sort of every other day at those.
And I know you like
sister-in-law-
to dance too, by the way.
Oh,
I do like to dance. Yeah.
Honey, get out there.
Yeah.
Bust a move. By the way, me too.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
This is just like our
Yeah.
intro music. Like I can't
That
help
was fun. Yeah, you were bebopping
Yeah,
a little.
man.
Yeah, I love music. Music is definitely a part of who I am. So,
What were you listening to on the way here?
what was I listening to on the way here? I think David Guetta. I was on. Yeah, I had my cycle playlist on from this morning. Yeah,
Sexy chick.
right?
I like a good beat and
Yeah.
a good beat drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
I also like 90s hip hop. That's my.
Come on.
I always throw in like this morning I had, I guess it wasn't 90s exactly, but a Missy Elliott song. And
Beautiful.
I always try to educate.
Do you
my
remember what we were
students.
listening to on the way here? That girl is poison.
Oh, yes.
Viv DeVoe? Come on.
Uh-huh. Let's do it.
Right? We don't mess around. But I was going to say, by the way, with all your exercise stuff,
Yeah.
right? So my sister-in-law got into exercise a couple of years ago. She was never an exerciser.
Yeah.
She didn't want to do it, and all of a sudden found Pilates. And day before, she hit 250 classes.
Wow.
That was
that's
her goal.
awesome.
She set a goal,
Yeah.
and she hit it. I
That's
think it's-
amazing.
And
Congrats.
she's so proud of herself, and I'm so
She
proud
should
of her.
be.
I think it's so
Yeah, that's
awesome.
a huge deal. I think I'm gonna start running. So I've done like a half marathon before, but I'm not a frequent runner. I'll pull up on a random 5K. But Callie,
I was
She
going
said
to
she
say,
pulls up on a random 5K.
is that not normal?
yeah, I just pull up on this 5K. What
Well,
I
there's
do.
a lot of them in our community,
Right?
you know. So
Yeah.
just pull up.
No, but yeah, you were going to say, like, Callie,
Yeah.
and I was going to mention,
Yeah.
too, like, I wish I loved
That's
running.
inspiring.
Because,
Yeah.
by the way, that's like the coolest run club.
For sure. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm
Yeah.
going. They do the middle Saturday of every month. They do
Right.
a 7:30 meetup.
Right.
So I'm going. I think it's November 15th.
Something
or
like that,
something
right?
like
That's
that, yeah.
awesome.
I'm gonna go to Fit to Run right after this and actually try on some new shoes.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list tonight.
I
Look
like
at
it.
you.
Yeah.
Badass.
Maybe I need Leslie to help me with my shoe size
Yeah,
first.
I don't know if she can do women's size.
Oh,
maybe only men's.
got it. I have big feet, so maybe that'll help. I don't know.
So let me ask you this. You are you're out and about a lot.
Yes.
If someone is visiting South Florida
Yeah.
and maybe, it's their first time, what's a must do? Something you're like, hey, listen, you're in South Florida, you have to do this. Like, again, we're trying to figure out what makes South Florida such an awesome
Really
place.
good question.
Yeah. What would you say is something, you're in South Florida, you have to do this?
Yeah. It's really hard to narrow down.
Yeah.
So I would probably start with a list of food locations because, again, foodie
Yeah. Same.
all the way. I actually have a little food blog that's not very good. It's
Are you
called-
serious?
Yeah, it's called Live to Eat Local on Instagram. I started it with my family and a bunch of people involved because we all love food. And then I kind of stopped after my dad passed, but I just did a new episode the other day.
No kidding.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, I
you're getting a
love-
couple more subscribers.
in your
Just
spare
doing it.
time.
It's hard to be good on social media, so I just do it every once in
I
a while.
love food too. So
Yeah.
give us some.
So recently I tried out, I might mess up the name, but Shasa Kebab.
I heard it.
Yeah.
I saw you post about
Yes,
it. I
yeah,
saw you
yeah,
post
yeah.
about it, and someone else posted about it. I'm like, oh my god, it looks good.
Man, it was delicious. Woo! Yeah, it's really good. Persian food and amazing sauces and just
Did you
the
have rice?
seasoning was phenomenal.
Right, like Persian rice, Iranian rice.
Yeah,
Like the
no,
crisp-
it's phenomenal. And then they have a dessert place called Sweet Manifesto that they neighbored with at one of their original locations in Miami somewhere, and then brought them here to Boca. And so it's Sweet Manifesto and Shasa Kebab. I'm probably not nailing
all
that
right.
name, but yummy.
Yeah.
Yummy. So really, really good food all over South Florida that I would definitely recommend to the
Yeah.
newcomer. I used to run orientation at FAU, and the families, I became known for like this informal session where I would tell them all where to eat.
Right.
So I love local food. I love outdoor opportunities. Like I would recommend Gumbo Limbo, Murakami, places like that. It just really depends on what they want to do and see. And I would ask those questions first and then probably guide them from
Look how
there.
smart she is asking questions so she can answer people's questions.
I know. And you mentioned I'm out and about a lot. I want to be out and about providing value and meaning, right?
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
Well, you're
Just
allowed to have
flitting
fun too,
about.
though.
Fun is all about life, if it's not fun, what's the point?
Right.
And I think that's part of my why in education is you can do education fun and still be taken seriously.
Well, and I think that I've said that. I think I've said it to you, and I think even to you, when we're out and about and you're doing your Katie Burke,
Dr.
Katie Burke thing with the community and with alumni and all that, I can see you're having a great time, and yet you are very intentional. Right?
Thank you.
It's okay to be both.
Yeah.
Like you.
We see you. We
Thank
see you, girl.
I'm telling you, I think I told
goal.
you, I think one of the words that just rang for me is impressive. Like, I can see how you get all that in one. Like, it's cool. I aspire to that. Like,
I think you do that really, really well too, Dan. Thank you.
I don't know what you want.
You do.
But thank you.
No, nothing.
I'm working up to PhD level. I'm not there yet. I only have my
The
bachelor's.
PhD.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know you brought up a restaurant. Give me another one or two that you love, please.
Like
Restaurants.
date night. You and Mike, any place particular?
Yeah, so we love New York Prime. New York Prime.
My favorite
Yeah,
steakhouse.
steakhouses.
My wife and I go there on date night all the time.
Yeah, it's amazing. We go every Christmas night.
Oh, really?
It's one of our traditions with our family.
Oh, that's
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah, and Christmas Eve is our big family gathering at our house, but Christmas night we go to New York Prime. Recently, DeLuca's on Federal.
I've heard.
Ooh!
Our friend Mike was
Really?
telling us it's awesome.
Yes, let's
I
go.
liked Locale, and I was upset that it
Same,
closed.
But yeah,
I've heard
DeLuca's
great
is
things about DeLuca's too.
it's awesome. Really, really
Okay, we gotta
good.
go.
Really, really
It's-
good chop house if you like pasta. I think
If
it's
you
a-
like, are there people who don't like
no.
There
pasta?
are people that don't like pasta.
I don't want to talk to them.
Automatically don't trust them. No, I'm just kidding. No, I think it's fiocchi or fiocchetti they have there. That's like a pear cheese pasta. I call it like a pillow of heaven.
Where were we for Tati's birthday?
Rafina something in
Da-
Pompano?
I can't remember. Di Farina.
Yes, Di Farina.
Ooh, I don't know that I've
on
been
Atlantic in Pompano.
Okay.
And I got on their recommendation this pear pasta it was a
there.
ravioli.
Do you remember Tansy and Meisner?
Oh,
yeah.
They
Yes.
had it too, and it was
Yeah. All right.
it's a party in your
DeLuca's.
mouth. Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Atlantic and Pompano, I worked at Houston's
Did you?
for
Oh,
like
really?
12 years. That's part of why I think I love food and hospitality and
What'd you do at Houston's?
professionalism. Almost everything. Yeah, I almost went through corporate training to become a manager.
Really?
I was
Oh, because we're both restaurant guys
servers,
too.
greeter I was a greeter for a long time.
Yeah.
That's how I started there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sure, I can see it.
It was fun.
Restaurant people have a different vibe.
I
Yeah, for
agree.
sure.
I think everybody should work at a restaurant for
I
a little
agree.
while.
We have always said it should be a college requirement. You work in a
Yeah.
restaurant because it's intense. You learn
Yep.
so much.
You do.
working in a restaurant.
Yeah, there's so many good outcomes that come from that experience, and Houston's does it better than most, I would say.
Well, we didn't work there, so
Yeah, but even the dining experience, the food, the consistency, the ambiance.
yeah, faux show. So, go on.
So we know that you're on the board of directors for Spirit of Giving.
I am.
And that's an organization that's close to our hearts, right? We love Spirit of Giving just because, again, you guys help put together people that need. And if this group has this and this group needs this, you facilitate. Like, it's just such an amazing organization.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're probably involved in whether it's time or money or whatever support with other organizations too. Can you share some causes that are important to you and maybe why they're meaningful? Like, what do you love about Spirit of Giving? Like, wow, how did that happen?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned earlier I love collaboration and not collaboration like slapping people's names on things.
Right.
Meaningful
Like
collaboration.
actual
true,
collaboration.
actual collaboration that makes
partnership.
things better
Yes.
for all parties involved. So that's what Spirit of Giving does. They're a collaborative nonprofit that brings together, I think we're up to 117 member organizations that truly the purpose of Spirit of Giving is to help them do their work better. So whether it's the monthly meetings that are free trainings for those organizations and their guests from all ranges of topics, right? Like grant writing, social media, marketing, things like that, to their signature programs. Back to School Bash is one of my favorite events. You actually get to walk around with the students and shop with them and help build a backpack of items to help them be successful for the
So much
school
fun.
year. And it's just, again, hands-on.
So meaningful.
So meaningful. So meaningful. And of course, I rock the FAU swag and talk to them about
Really? You do?
college.
I've never
yeah,
seen you in FAU
surprise.
swag.
Right?
Yeah, wild. Red and blue, never wear them. Have none of those colors. So that's probably my favorite program. I love the holiday gift drive too, though. That's, massive.
We just got our first batch of 100 gift tags.
Yay! Thank you.
And I think literally 2 days ago, Sherelle brought them to us.
Yep.
And I think that, I mean, we've had like 10 people so far take some, and we haven't even started talking to people about it. So,
That's right.
Like I went to get a haircut, and I forced everybody, right?
Yeah.
To take a tag and help a kid.
That's it.
That's such a fun thing, and Spirit of Giving makes it so easy.
They do.
Right.
Yep.
Last year helped give gifts to 8,000 kids that otherwise wouldn't have received a gift.
Yep.
And Lindy told us, right, they got a grant of 8,000 gifts for this year.
Yeah.
So the goal this year is to help 16,000.
Yeah, isn't
right?
that
They
wild?
got
Double.
8,000 gifts, and now we're looking for more.
Yeah.
And we went to not a warehouse. It was like a unused office last year and
Yeah,
saw all
the
the gifts.
sorting
like,
process.
Oh my gosh.
It's just such a cool hands-on.
Yeah.
Again, we talk about service and what that actually means, and I think that they show service in action, and you
100%.
put your hands on it, right? And it just makes it more
When
real.
you see that room, you're like, holy shit, this is real.
It's real, and kids don't get gifts,
Right.
many of them, unless this effort happens. So
Right.
it's just awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but
completely.
helping people understand, right, that an organization like Spirit of Giving brings together a bunch of other organizations
that's what it
behind the
is.
scenes.
It is brilliant.
Yeah, versus
Absolutely
duplicating
brilliant.
efforts and expending more
And being
resources.
against each other.
That's right.
Right?
Unintentionally,
Right.
you know,
Right.
you're making it harder to make an impact on the root issues. And
Yeah.
I just love everything Spirit of Giving stands for.
I love that.
Yeah.
So you obviously have a super strong connection with Florida Atlantic and the broader community. Who are, would you say, a couple of other people that we should be talking to, or who are people that need to have a light shown on them and what they do and the impact they have on making South Florida an awesome place to live, work, play, give?
Yeah. The list is really long from Florida Atlantic alone. So just hot on my mind, maybe it was the bobblehead or just, our love of basketball. I think, Coach John Jacobs and Coach Sully, I think the two of them do a really good job of telling the basketball story. And since Coach Jacobs and his family are so new to Florida Atlantic and Boca Raton, you guys are so connected. I think it'd just be a great win-win for you to learn more about him, and then him be able to benefit from y'all as well. Because he's special, and I think
Yeah,
the
I
community is
agree.
just getting to know him and everything he stands for. And I think he's going to bring our program to a whole different level.
Do you know how great he is? So I don't know if you even noticed this. So we went to that lunch last week. It's like
Yeah.
season ticket holder or whatever it
Paradise
was.
Club. Yeah.
And we're up there, and they had a couple players that they were interviewing.
Yeah.
And I was watching Coach Jacobs, and he was just sitting there in awe, staring at his players, just like it was like he loved them.
Yeah.
He does.
It was admiration.
He does, and it's
was
love.
so
It's
beautiful.
one word, love, right?
Yeah.
And he's got that for basketball, but more importantly for the men that he gets to work with
Yeah.
every day. And
Yeah.
I think our program, a school like FAU, is built on that love and
Yeah.
passion.
It's
So,
beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So athletics wise, there's a whole bunch of people I would suggest, but even, into the faculty, I think, you learning more about some of the academic disciplines we have. Our School of Criminal Justice and Social Work is phenomenal. Dean Nilese Luna is super plugged into the community. We recently did an event together where we were chefs. Were you guys there?
That was the Chamber Festival days. That was right?
Celebrity chef. Oh yeah, for the Hanley.
The Hanley event. Yeah.
I was not at that one. I coached basketball, and I had practice that night.
Got it. It was at the Waterstone. Yeah. So we did that event together. She really was out in the community. She's a phenomenal dean and just really knows her college well. And obviously social work is a huge area of focus for us along with criminal justice. So she's super and just a wonderful person to talk to.
Love that.
There's faculty for days. I would say folks in student affairs might be some you're not super connected to really learn about the student experience at the institution. For example, mentoring at Florida Atlantic is a massive initiative.
Really? Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So years ago in student affairs, I was a part of a group that wrote a grant that started a department called the Mentoring Project. And that department still exists. Costs have been absorbed by the institution once the grant ran out. And they currently mentor, I think it's like half the incoming class of both first-year students and transfer students. And, our students are first generation. They're Pell eligible. They're students who, again, are gritty and work hard to be there. And folks like you guys mentoring and just being involved in their journey would be phenomenal for both of you. So I would really recommend talking to probably Jordan DiPentima about that. She's exceptional for a lot of reasons. I got to work with her for a long time. So
Katie knows everybody. Everybody knows Katie.
No,
but
definitely
that's part
not.
of the job.
It is. I'm doing my best. There's so many people in this community making things happen.
Like South Florida's a really cool freaking place to
It's
live,
so
right?
inspiring just to go out and learn and listen to what people are doing.
Yeah, I mean, right, because we hear so much that, right, it's the Heaven's Waiting Room, it's all old farts and lots of rich people. And listen, there is that, right? There are lots of old people and there's lots of wealthy people, and then there's lots of everybody else.
Yeah.
That's right.
You find what you're looking for.
And listen, at the YMCA where my brother's on the board, it's what, 3 out of 4?
1 out of every 3 people that walks through that front door get some sort of financial assistance.
Wow.
In Boca Raton, Florida.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, where was I the other? Oh, they had the YMCA had a big event this past Saturday that I volunteered at and helped, called the Corporate Cup, where they have like different companies go against each other in physical and mental games, and it's so much fun. And one of the people that I was the concierge for their team, she made a comment about, I don't even know why we're raising money. This is Boca Raton. They don't need it. And I was like, well, did you know? And she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'm like, no, I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I just want you to know.
That's right.
Right? Because I would have thought the same thing, because I heard all the stuff about Boca before we moved here, that it's, right, Heaven's Waiting Room. But there's people who need help here.
There are.
All the time. That's why we fight all the time to help. So because it's needed, right? We're not wealthy. We're not rich. We're better off than most, though. And so what we can do is give back some money and time. And it really, if more people do that, it makes a difference.
Couldn't agree more.
And there's just also, there's so much more too, right? I mean, we touched on the restaurant scene, the food scene is amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
I'm so hungry. We keep talking about food.
There's
DeLuca's is right. Right.
Well, we're going to Irishman tonight for the watch party. So
nice.
y'all are welcome to come.
But I was gonna say, like, there's live music.
Yeah.
I know a guy who produces our podcast who's a local musician.
Yeah.
Plays
He's
great.
pretty
handsome.
cool.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah,
pretty handsome.
what a dashing fellow.
Look at that, Ben.
Where is he?
Look at that face.
Can't you find your own camera to put yourself on screen?
Pull your
There
face
he
up.
is.
There he is.
Right, but again, live music. There's just so much outdoor stuff. There's sports, right? We have 5 professional sports available locally.
Yeah.
I don't know that there are any other cities that have all 5.
I'm sure Los Angeles,
Maybe,
probably
maybe
New York,
Los Angeles, right? But
Boston,
but other than that,
Chicago.
okay, so I handle it. But there's lots of places that don't. Shithead.
Just saying.
I
call
can
my
feel the
brother
love
and say
from over
it's
here.
Right? Well, let me stab one on the table. Okay, fine.
Anyways.
Fine, I'm dumb.
Point made.
But
Yes.
but the
Yeah.
point is that it's awesome here. We have
Yeah.
so much to do.
Yep.
Culture. I just went to art festival in what's it called?
Sanborn
here?
Square.
Sanborn Square.
Oh, yeah.
So cool, right?
Yep.
Walk around and see this stuff that local artists are. There was a guy from Boynton Beach made these beautiful metal sculptures. I
Wow.
mean, just
Yeah.
stunning. And this woman, excuse me, I think she's from Lantana, did these beautiful glass reliefs, or I think is what she called it. I don't know what, but like art, culture, music,
Yep.
sports. There's so much around here.
There's so much to do. Yeah, agreed.
it's a
Tequila
great
Fest
place.
the other day was really
Oh,
fun
yeah.
too.
Oh,
at
really?
Meisner.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I bet you
10
the
out
more
of
time you
10.
spend there, the more fun it gets.
What a wild place that turned into towards
sure.
the end of the night.
Were there any clothes left? Or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
People still, yes.
No, it's not that fun. Yeah. So, speaking of tequila and no clothes, we're all about giving back here on the podcast, right? So, and we know you are too. So, I'm sorry, it was a great segue,
That was
wasn't it?
real good.
Anyway,
Tell us more about how Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. Florida Atlantic and your role help connect alumni and students with opportunities to give back in our community.
Amazing. So we are very driven by student scholarship fundraising, specifically for our Alumni Association scholarship. We had started giving out about $10,000 a year up until the point that I started the job. And then the board and I really intensified the progress. And last year we gave out over $75,000 in scholarships.
Wow.
And this
That's
year
cool.
we're gonna, it looks like,
That's
thank you.
amazing, right?
And that, believe me, that doesn't even scratch the surface of what Florida Atlantic is doing for scholarships as a whole.
Right.
But in our, area of Alumni Association, that's a big lift for us, especially when we're trying to increase alumni giving to your to the point of your question.
Right.
So when alumni give, they can give a lot of different ways. We're very donor centric, right? So if you tell me you're interested in mentoring and you want to look into supporting mentoring initiatives or giving students scholarships that need it, that are involved in mentoring program, I can help you do that. Right. We also have events that can be sponsored. Our events oftentimes raise money for student scholarships. For example, in February, we have, I think it's February 7th, the Friday of Super Bowl weekend, we have something called the Sweethearts Dinner that we focus on couples that met either through or at Florida Atlantic.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we brought it back last year. And 2 years running now, we've had it back in Boca Raton. And it's just such a meaningful event. And we raise money for scholarships. So last year we did an auction, both silent and live. This year we're hosting it at the Boca Raton Marriott. Again, February 7th. Great venue. Another connection made through Leadership Boca.
Yeah.
The food's phenomenal there.
Yeah. Oh
the experience will be wonderful.
Yep.
And if, the couples want to stay the weekend at the Marriott, it's like a staycation
That's so
situation too. So that's just one example, right?
How many people do you get that show up to that?
About 100.
Really? That is
Yeah.
so freaking cool.
Yeah, and it's going to grow even bigger this year. Because
Dr.
the venue
Katie
space.
Burke, her name's on it, so yeah.
Yeah, we're really pumped about that event, and we do all sorts of things like that, like our foodies events that apparently Debbie Levine did a phenomenal job of bringing up to you.
Yes.
We do those roughly once a month at local restaurants, and every attendee pays for, of course, their food. Typically a drink or two is built into the cost, and then a portion goes to student scholarships.
Beautiful.
It's
a win-win.
It is.
Win-win-win, actually.
It is. Even memberships in the Alumni Association, of which you will receive a link shortly to join, a portion of that also goes to student scholarships.
That's so cool.
Truly focused majorly on the fundraising piece. We just need alum to give $1 every year to increase our alumni participation rate. And of course, we want them to give more than that.
Millions,
them giving $1 shows a connection to the institution, which again is our why, right? We're not calling alumni for the first time and saying, write us a check.
Right. Hi, I'm Katie. Can I have some money?
No, and I get feedback that other schools do that.
Of course, because they don't.
I get the call.
It's the relationship thing, right? Like, I'm way more interested in you having a long-lasting value add from our institution, right? Let's continue to give back to you, and you give to us when you're ready, and then continue to give at least $1 every year, please, so we can increase our alumni giving rate.
Well, you got $2 right here.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. So scholarships all day, but whatever our donors and our community want to give to, as far as the institution's concerned, we will help find something that works.
That's so great. So great.
I love that.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to share about you, what you do, who you impact, who you like? Is there something you want people to know about Dr. Katie Burke?
Wow.
And who you are in your position? Again, just something you want to share?
Yeah. I think just what I've researched, what I've done in my career is hopefully inspire people to make a difference in their lives and their communities and with the people that they love.
Well, you do it. We see it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You embody it.
Thank
It's
you.
like I said, when I grow up, I want to be like you.
You're better than me. And that's my students. I want them to be better than me, right? And our alumni go out there and do more, be more, and impact the communities that matter.
Yeah.
So I just think making that accessible to people, it can be as simple as an act of kindness a day, opening a door for someone, smiling at someone, right? Like, I know I'm very energetic, and I go out and I talk to people, and I try to bring positive energy wherever I go. And that's hopefully more for the people that I'm giving it to than for me.
Right.
So I think that there's something to be said about that, right? You don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know if they just sat in their car and couldn't get out of their car because they want to talk to somebody a week before. So your kindness, your interaction to them could really make a difference.
That's beautiful.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Right, because we talk about that all the time, right? Kindness is something that is super important to us.
Yeah.
Right, and I think we've talked about it, right? We have the sign in the office, kind people are my kind of people.
Totally, 100%. And I also think my kind of people are the ones who ask questions, requesting feedback or just clarifying assumptions that they may be making. I think another big issue we run into is we hear something and we just snap a judgment and don't take the time to clarify.
Really?
Yeah. The 4 Agreements, great book. And I just think one of the hardest ones is don't make assumptions.
Right.
And
seek first to understand.
Oh my gosh, it's so hard, but it's so important. And I think so many of our relationships would be better served, even the ones with ourselves, just by
Dropping
asking.
knowledge and
Maybe-
wisdom. I like
maybe
it.
especially with ourselves, right?
Yeah. So just, I think, seek to understand and not go into things pretending like because you probably don't know the full extent of whatever's going on. Maybe you never will, and that's okay.
Yeah.
We don't have to know everything, but we need to sort of.
Passion, empathy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's all about that. So I guess I would want the community to know that. Just try to ask questions and come to people, with an open heart and open mind.
I love that.
Beautiful.
Right. She's the best.
Yes.
And I will say this, thank you. Number one, thank you for just being an awesome person. Right? I mean, we've only known each other really sort of a year.
Yep.
Right? Start through Leadership Oak is where it started. But I tell you, I just feel so connected to you.
Same.
Just because you have that energy and you
It's contagious.
correct. I don't think that it's bullshit either. Like, I'm a good read of people.
Yes.
Right? Very. I
I am sometimes too.
very good at but
But I have
really-
my wife to help me.
Yeah. But I have a good bullshit detector, and I can tell a lot when people are sincere, and I can see the integrity, and I see integrity in you. I'm sure there are times when you're tired and sad and you're putting on a face. I'm sure, right? Because you're human.
Yeah.
However, I still think that who you are shines through.
Thank you.
So thank you for that, right? Because again, selfishly, it makes our community, a better place.
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate that.
And it helps us enjoy our life here in South Florida.
And by the way, I just want to say too, your energy is amazing. We've seen you out and about dozens and dozens of times. I think every single time we walk away from you, we go, God, I love her. She's awesome.
Just so you know, for real.
Like for real, like she's awesome. Just the energy and you're awesome.
Thank you.
real, yeah,
And
for
you
real.
guys are too. Sincerely.
Thank you.
Especially as bros, it's really inspiring.
We're fortunate we like each other.
Yeah.
It really is. And you care about a lot of the same things. And it's just, you're like bro besties.
Yeah. for
Bestie
sure.
bros.
Listen,
For
we
sure.
didn't see each other the other day. What was it, Monday?
Yeah.
We're such dorks. We are such dorks. We didn't see each other Monday.
How is that possible? Don't you live in the same?
Right. We live 7 houses away from each
Okay,
other. We
yep.
work out of the same office. We didn't see each other. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, and such a dork I am. I messaged him like, hey bro, how's your day? Missed you. Right? Missed you.
And then I said
really
something.
cute.
I'm like, is it weird that I feel awkward that I haven't seen you today? He's like, yes, it is, but I feel the same way.
yeah, like
There you go.
you're a dork, and I agree.
Yeah, that's okay. Do you know dork, I think, is a whale penis?
Really?
Why do I have?
So what did you just call me?
He called you a dork.
I thought. Are you sure it's not San Diego?
Yeah, fun fact of the day, I guess. I
Excellent.
suppose.
Thank you.
Bro,
Yeah.
you're a dork.
I've been called worse.
You've been called worse. But seriously, I am so grateful for you, to you, and for you for sharing your story and sharing your passion, for building connections and your passion for education in Florida Atlantic and our community. And we're lucky to have you. Like
Yes.
our community is, our Florida Atlantic is, as a friend. I'm telling you, I have FOMO. When we had our Leadership Boca meeting,
Yep.
you, me, Ale, and Shannon.
Yep.
And then, talk about FOMO. Katie had an appointment right after ours. She was very diplomatic about it. She made us feel important and special and then she had to go to her next appointment. And I'm looking at that group, I'm like, I want to hang out with them.
That's a special group.
It is a very special
Yeah,
group. I aspire to be special. I mean,
You are.
I mean, I've been told I'm special.
You are.
Yeah, different special.
Not cool, but I just want you to know, like,
No.
you're awesome. You have that kind of energy that you have. You draw people.
Thank
Yes.
you. I appreciate
So thank you
that.
so much for being here today.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
And to everybody listening, be sure to check out the full episode on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's episode, which if you'd have to be an idiot not to,
Yeah, crazy.
please leave us a 5-star review and tell all your friends. And of course, if you know of anyone that you think should be on here, send us a message, leave it in the comments. We want to have great people. I mean, I don't know if we can have anyone equal to Dr. Katie Burke. It's
you
like
can.
downhill from there, but close to. We want to have those people on. So thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. And we'll see you next week on an episode of the Digital Mayors Podcast.
Yeah.
Whoa! Told you I'd do it.
You like our music? Oh, here it goes.
Oh, yeah.
I like it.
That's real good.
Right?
Yeah.
Ben, you want to drum on the desk for us?